Hello there guys, welcome back to the e-bike repairs YouTube channel. My name's Darsh and I take apart, fix super fun and exciting stuff. Darsh is D-A-R-S-H for anyone who's interested. Got in this today, isn't this funky? Got that thing. Smart e-bike, Raam Battery, GPS, Cleantron, made in the Netherlands. Don't open it. It'll blow up. 36 volt, 13.6 amp hour, 490 watt hours. Now, what I thought was interesting was we've got pin 1 B+, pin 2 B+, pin 3 B-, pin 4 B-. So the actual output to the bike looks as though it could be done with not their BMS. And then for charging purposes, you've got B+, B-, and then detect out and detect in. So there's communication on the charging, but there doesn't appear to be any communication on the actual output side of things. So I thought that was quite interesting. Some kind of funny clear things. I have to look at what they are. Very interesting. Let's see how on earth one takes this thing apart. We look like we've got Torx, maybe T15 bits down in there. Let's have a look. T20, T15. Try the T20. It is not a T20. Ooh. It's not a T15. We could try T10. It's a T10. There we go. So let's pop this open and have a look. Oh, long story short, it doesn't charge, doesn't do anything. Goes on the bike, doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 of those. Right. Get one of those ready. Let's have those out. See what we get. Oh, well, it opens. Okay. There's a GPS module inside here. I just caught a glimpse of it. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Only 4 of the 12 have come out, but okay. 5. Screws look like that. Bit boring. Looks like a screw. Now what is interesting is what is in here. Whoa! I don't want to resell that, do I? Christ. Never a dull day, eh? Never a dull day. Let's get rid of these screws out of the case first, and then we can at least look at this without losing them all. I think that's the lot now. Those clear things look to be some kind of horrible optical communication or something, maybe. Do not like the look of that at all. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. Crikey. You're all twisted round for some unknown reason. Do a bit of untwisting there. Or are you just twisted around there? I think you're just twisted around there, aren't you? Yes? Okay, right, so let's do a little poking around at things. First of all, I shall be an end user. I shall get my bike battery and I shall plug it in to charge. Seems like a good place to start, doesn't it? Charger wise is an ST charger, 36 volts, 6 amps. 6 amps! Bit quick, isn't it? But sure. Let's see what happens if we plug this in like that. Well, it's got to fit one way, right? There you go. No charging. Doesn't work. It doesn't, I'm assuming, doesn't detect the battery pack. Maybe like that. Let's get our meter out. Start having a little poke around at things. Cleantron, Cleantech batteries. We've got some little low voltage communication wires here to this USB. This GPS chip. There's a GPS chip there. We've got whatever that is, and we've got a little antenna here. That'll probably be what's killed it. This here, yeah, I think that almost looks like maybe an optical thing here. Serial number. That's interesting. So there may well, in fact, be communication between the battery and things, but not that we know of. Let's check overall pack voltage. I see big one there, big one there. 1.8 volts. So these cells are dead. They are Samsung 35E cells, nice cells, good cells, we like them. You can make that out, Samsung 35Es. That's that little GPS chip thing there. Unfortunately, oh my, that's quite the BMS they've come up with, isn't it? Respectfully, fuck me. They like to make it complicated, don't they? What's probably happened is that chip runs off the board and it's got a bit low, and then obviously it won't charge anymore. Yeah, these appear to be some kind of light sensors on the back of this part here. That's crazy. Crazy. Okay. So let's see. Oh, there's one of those fun fuses on the board there. Check if it's blown. Probably isn't. It isn't. It wouldn't be. Is the charger putting out any voltage? So we've got our red over here and our black over here. Charger is putting out full voltage. And it's cutting it off on the negative side of things, I think. Because we're getting full voltage to the positive side here. But from the pos to the neg of the battery, we are not. So if we jump this to this, we could force it to start charging. Now, these cells are too low. They are dead. They're not going to work. They are unsafe. It's as simple as that. The only reason I'm doing this is to see if, by reselling this battery, would it work again? Will we get lights or some kind of communication or voltage on the output, that kind of thing? Because I don't want to say to the customer, oh yes, I'll resell it. Then I resell it, and then I find out it doesn't work. This way, I can bring back what is it's a dead battery. You know, it's running on 1 volt. It's dead. If I hook up, if I bring this back up to sort of 30 volts, enough for it to work, maybe 33 volts, something like that. Yeah, the cells are knackered. They'll get hot, whatever. I can find out if it's going to work before I pour all the time and effort into reselling this god-awful looking thing. So I still, quite possibly, I'm just going to say no. But we'll have a look. We'll have a look and see. I'm not going to short that out, because 40 volts into a 0 volt battery is just dumb. Especially at 6 amps. 6 amps is crazy. But what I will do is get my adjustable power supply here and hook up negative, hook up the positive, and show me 1.8 volts. I could just very slowly raise the voltage. So 8 volts, that's at now. Just see if anything comes back to life, because as I say, if it doesn't, it's no point. Waste of time. I've got it set to about half an amp. Well, I think it's half an amp. Of course, it's not drawing full. No, 1.5 amps. Let's just turn the amps down a bit. There you go. I've got to set it to 1 amp. 16 volts. 17 volts. 18 volts. 19 volts. Okay, 20 volts is coming up. Okay. Ideally, I'm just going to let it sit around the 20 volt mark for a little while. Just see if it starts getting, you know, a bit hot. We're seeing 20 volts at 0.6 amps, 0.5 amps. It's kind of along the lines of what I want to be seeing. Could check some little cell voltage groups, couldn't I? So between B5 and B4, at 1.7 volts, 1.7, 1.7, 1.7, 1.7. So they, you know, they seem to be coming back in an acceptable fashion there. 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, 3, 3, 2.3, 1.7. Weird, one half of this is all 1.7. It's so weird, this board, how this is all done. Horrible. Horrible. I think I've actually decided I'm not even going to attempt this. Seems like a horrible, horrible job to do. Okay, that's going to sit around the 20 volt mark. I'll let it sit for a bit, hooked up to the power supply for probably 10 minutes. I'll disconnect the power supply again. I'll leave it to rest and I'll see if anything gets warm, the voltages drop, all that kind of thing. You know, they'll drop a bit, but it'd be nice if it held a stable voltage, just for testing purposes. Be grand. But yeah, chances of this coming back from that's quite slim. It's just, look at it. It's crazy. They've designed the most unnecessarily complicated thing in the world. There's an optical sensor. Crazy. Well, yeah, I guess you're not stealing it and sticking it on a different bike unless he doesn't care. I'm assuming that it's a serial number on the sensor, so it probably needs to, like, you know, match the bike or something. But crazy stuff. Right, give this a minute and we'll come back. So we've been left to sit for a while. Nothing exciting has happened. Doxing people's phone numbers. No. Nothing exciting has happened yet. I've popped the voltage up. We're going to get closer to 30 volts now. See what's going on there. We're currently at sort of 25. Nothing great's happening. The banks on this side versus this side seem to be different, but I'm measuring 2.5 on these and 2.8 over on this side. It's all fairly, you know, uniform and stuff, but we'll keep going. See if it will come back to life. You never know. So unplug the charger. Plug charger in. You get nothing still. Yeah, I'll give it some more time. We're currently sitting at more like 30 volts overall for the pack, which you'd think, oh, that might work now. Oh, I'm on AC. That's never going to work. Try DC. But we got, yeah, 30 volts overall for the pack. But this side of the groups should be showing over 3 volts now. Yeah, at 3.1. This side of the groups is below. Oh, that's above 3 volts. So you'd sort of thought little bastard would take a charge. But I'm thinking perhaps it's not going to. Which is a crying shame. But also kind of not, because as I said, I don't really want to do this anyway. Look at it. That's horrible. Who thought of this? You know, to be blunt about it. But yeah, we're showing above 30 volts on the banks of cells, so you'd have thought that unplugging the charger, unplugging the charger from the mains and waiting until said light goes out, which it will do, I promise, the light will go. Honest. Just give it time. There we go, light's gone out. Plugging the charger in. and then plugging the charger into the bike battery, you'd have thought it would have a chance of perhaps working, but it isn't. I suspect that this ridiculously overcomplicated battery management system might have a little something to do with it. Maybe we could try. Let's disconnect our power. Let's turn that off. Let's pull the cells out. There's a little ribbon cable. Oh, there's a power button over here. Oh! I got a light. I saw one. It's charging. I fixed it. Everything's working. Putting 6 amps into this is terrifying. I don't think I'll be leaving that on very long, but look, it's all come to life. On the end of this ribbon cable here, there was a little button. And I pressed the little button, and it brought it back to life. I held it down, or maybe I pressed it, I don't remember now. But I did things, look. There was a whole bar, a flashy thing. Meaning that it is charging. Now if I unplug the charger, because I do not like the 6 amps going into that, it flashes away. Quite possibly because it's a little unhappy. But look, things stay on. Lights have come on the circuit board in there and things. Fascinating. Okay. Weirdly, it doesn't look like it's putting 6 amps in. I've got a meter that shows me all the voltage being used in this room, all the amp. It's on 50 watts, 250 watts. So that was 200 watts. Yeah, it's jumped up to about 260 watts. So let's say it's put 200 watts on. 200 divided by 42 is 4.7 amp. Yeah, no, it's not far away, I suppose. Really. Bit more than I'd like to charge this up at, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. I'd be intrigued to know if you could use a non-genuine charger with this. So now that it's woken up, let's have that original charger off. Let's turn this on. Let's set this to 42 volts. And let's hook this up to where the original charger would go, which would be there and here. It might spark a little bit and scare the poop out of me, but you know, we'll see if it works. And here. No, look, it won't charge from that. Assuming all these are joined together. Yeah, they're all joined. Try pressing the button, perhaps. No, pressing the button does not make it charge with a non-genuine charger. It must have to do its talking stuff through these communication wires here. Oh well. Worth checking while I've got it apart is that unfortunately, yes, you will have to buy one of their special chargers. But look, dink, and it charges. Exciting. So it would technically be resellable. I think I'd rather not do that, though. Oh, my telephone is ringing. Okay, the battery is on. It seems to be working. If I press that button there, I get one blinky light telling me, you know, it's quite low and unhappy. However, at the speed this wants to charge, the cells are getting warm. I don't like that. I'm going to stop it charging here. There's no point doing it any further. What I'll do is try it on the customer's bike, see if it's maybe lost programming, because there's obviously this weird optical sensory thing that seems to talk back and forth. See if it works. If it works, maybe I'll consider trying to resell it. But my word, that looks horrid. I don't want to. Don't like it. Oh yeah, they're toasty, they are. Yeah, needs new cells in there. Just looks like a really horrible thing to do, to be honest. Like a job that I do not wish to be part of. But yeah, you might see more, you might not. Who knows? Need to try out the bike first and see. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.